Thought our football team came out and played today, which is always expected of them. And, we sort of characterized this game as an Ironman lift. And if you know anything about Spartan football, we have Ironman lifts for our younger players at 5:30 in the morning. And everybody in our football program is going to go through that. And we felt like that's what it was going to be. You were going to be challenged. You were going to have adversity. You're going to be pushed to the brink. Offensively, we felt like we had to control the tempo of the game and had to definitely win the field position and had to be able to take the air out of the ball some, which I felt we did. Defensively, was going to have to get back home and line up. You heard Coach Dantonio talk about that, lining up, staying squared away, and playing. I thought we played very well defensively. Gave up the first one, which was sort of, you're going to have to respond. Just like I said, you're going to have to handle adversity. And then we gave up 2 more after sudden changes, which really, in my opinion, shouldn't have happened. But, hey, you deal with it, part of coaching. But I thought our defense played well, had 7 3-and-outs in the first half. I don't know what happened in the second, how many, but continued to play well, gave up a late touchdown. And offensively, just got to give a lot of credit to our offense in terms of what they were able to do, running the football, big plays on the passing game, explosive plays. You got some different guys making plays. Felt like Langford would hit it. If he got a crease that he could take it the distance. He's got great speed, and you saw that happen. But also, saw R.J. Shelton accelerate. You saw Delton Williams get involved. So we've got different guys making plays, and that's what's so exciting to me. Josiah Price with the big catch on 3rd and long. So, again, different guys, young players, sort of transitioning into playmakers for us. And that's the thing that I felt like would happen. And Connor Cook plays another solid game. I think he's 21 out of 31 for 235 yards. So good things are happening. Special teams were solid. Sadler with the big kicks, huge punts, and special teams played well. So I just think it's overall a great team win for us. And we're 5-1, and we can set the tone for the next phase. Halfway through the season, now we start playing for things.
Are those kickbacks both playing well? Is the message around here more than ever when freshmen are ready, they're going to play?
We've always tried to do that, and certain times there's going to be opportunities because of need or because, just of depth. And I think we have 3 good tailbacks, Langford, Delton Williams, I think Nick Hill. We're going to always ride the hot guy, and, that's what ends up happening sometimes, So you saw Delton and Jeremy get the majority of the carries there, certainly. But, Nick Hill's a quality back as well, so we feel good about him. But I think all our wide receivers, Lippett has a big day. And, obviously Benny Fowler with the huge touchdown run after catch. And I've already talked about some other guys getting involved. But we can continue to get better, and that's the exciting thing. But we're focused. I think we're focused as a football team. Our guys are hungry. And it was great to get a win in Spartan Stadium on the 500th game.
Mark, when Garrett Kings told earlier this week he had to learn football wasn't about him, and he's at a point now he'd rather throw a block for RJ or for someone else to go for a big score than him. Are you sensing the maturity now coming to your offense?
Yeah, I think so. He's a playmaker, but, and he's a very confident guy. We got guys like that. A.J. Sims is very much like that. So we've got guys, I think, being selfless out there, and we just want to play and win. And that's the basic mentality of our football team right now. And I thought it was tremendous. We scored when we were in the red zone today, and we also got explosive plays, and we finished. We finished, and you had to make a play. We were able to finish.
Offensively, was there a carryover from last week just in terms of their confidence and momentum?
I just feel like the more you do, the more confident you become, and confidence breeds success. I've said that all along. If you're not being successful, you're going to start having some self-doubt. But if you are successful, confidence is going to grow, especially in a young player where there's a large learning curve. Connor Cook has a large learning curve because he's playing for the 3rd or 4th time. And McGarrett Kings and Delton Williams and R.J. Shelton. It's just good for confidence. Josiah Price. Those are just 4 names right off the bat that are very young players playing either as a redshirt freshman or redshirt sophomore in Connor Cook's case, or a true freshman, and they're making plays. And so. Those are good things. We got to build on those things. We got to keep coaching, and we got to get ready for Purdue. Cannot back off or slack off, and we got to get ready for to try and get win number 6.
Is this the offensive identity that you foresaw at the start of the season? Power football one series, 5 wides on the next. Did you come into the season knowing you had to have that kind of grip?
I came into the season knowing that we're going to have to do some different things. We're going to have some change. We're going to have a little bit of an evolution, a little bit. And transition to these things. And sometimes, change takes some time. You have to be able to stay the course a little bit and sort of, understand some of the problems that you're going to have, whether it's a young player or whatever the case. So, but you just keep trying to push through, and we've tried to stay positive with our guys and kept saying, hey, when it does turn, it's going to turn in a big way. And I think today was an indication of that. Are we a finished product? I don't think we're a finished product yet. Too many penalties that are unforced. We have, we get off the field on third down, we have a penalty. So too many penalties are unforced penalties, and we have to clean those up. But our guys are going to play aggressive, but, we can't tolerate that. That'll hurt us in the end.
Our quarterbacks work there, calls usually have a little swagger. Are you sensing more of that in Connor?
Yeah, I am. I think that he's growing. Like I said, big learning curve. It always is for a young player, but he can make plays. And he's got a good arm on himself, good arm. I think he's finding his receivers. He throws a very catchable football. So, he's growing in confidence.
Mark, a year ago, you guys failed to win the national division. Is that something that the coaches talk about before you come in?
Yeah, to some extent, yeah, we talk about that. We had a lot of close games last year that went right down to the end, and we lost them at home, other than the Notre Dame game. But prior to that, for 2 years, we hadn't lost. So the basic thought process is that we're going to win in this stadium. That was never taken away from us. Other than the Notre Dame game, I felt like we ran out of time on the last season. But, a loss is a loss. You got to deal with it. But we were resilient, and we kept playing. But the farther we go, the more our crowd comes, the more it becomes a community-type thing. When I say community, the state of Michigan type issue, the better it's going to become. So I was impressed with the crowd today, impressed with our students, and I like the Iron Man song being played out there a little bit, so it wasn't too bad. But things went well.
You said the most important thing for your quarterback position is going to be consistency. Is this the best rhythm you saw Connor in from start to finish?
Well, I thought he had rhythm, but I always think you can get better. I think he can take his game to the next level. I really do believe he could be a 100-yard rusher. I believe that. I believe he can run with the football when given the opportunity. He can create and can make and break some big ones. So he's going to still grow in that area. I think he's got good touch. The one pass that was picked was a tip off a tip. It was almost a great grab by Aaron Burbage. But we got to deal with it. But I thought he played pretty well. I thought he played well. He hit the big plays. He hit plays on third down and long. I think we took one sack. So, it was a great performance by him. I'd say a very solid winning performance by him. Is it a Big Ten championship performance? We're going to see as we go.
Mark, in the running game, where have you made the biggest improvements in terms of blocks, cuts, and what still needs to be accomplished before you get into the defensive?
I think that my thoughts are that our offensive line is gelling. We've got good players there, and we also have some depth there, and we're staying healthy. And then, we've got some guys, some different type of runners. We've got the banger a little bit and Delton Williams, and, he hits up in there for some tough yards and broke a couple. And then you have Jeremy Langford, which is a little bit more of a slasher, and Nick Hill's a very quick north-south runner when he has an opportunity. So we just have different variances in there, and they're getting more experience. Again, I talked in there. You remember Le'Veon Bell had 390 carries last year. These guys weren't playing much. And so there is transition, there is opportunity now, but they've got to gain confidence as they go, and this is a big confidence booster for our players.
That you thought that Delton reminded you a little bit of Le'Veon Bell. That was a big statement put on the freshman. Today he fumbled, and you went back to him. That doesn't always happen.
Yeah, I have confidence in our players, and I think the worst thing you can do to a player when he has a problem is to take him out and yank him. Now, if he does it over a period of time, you're going to have to change. But I think you have to stay with them and have to have confidence in your players because it's so important for them to have confidence. And, I just told Delton, I said, what's up? And he said something about a wristband. He took it off. We got him back in there. And he's a physical runner. And he's got a little bit of Le'Veon Bell inside the, in the midst of the line, vision, quick cutting ability. And, that's something that we can use, I guess.
Can you talk a little bit about the evolution of Tony Lippert over these past couple of weeks?
Yeah, I think Tony's had a great 2 weeks. He's playing much more confidently, and I think the theme here is confidence. And he's playing harder and tougher. And as I said earlier, last week, instead of watching film on Monday, I sat down with players. And 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, I sat down with Tony and just listening to him, not talking to him or at him, but listening to him. And he's got he had things that he wanted to say, and I think that, after that, it came to, he just moved forward with his life. Get some things off his chest, move forward with your life. I thought he's playing outstanding right now, got a lot of confidence. He's the guy that we thought he would be when we came in here and recruited him, and he sat as a redshirt freshman. He made all kinds of plays. He's the guy when he was a redshirt freshman that started at corner for us, and now you see him starting to flourish again. And I think that's so important. Confidence breeds success. We're starting to flourish. Our offense is getting more confident. That becomes more of a team game. Takes some pressure off the defense. Our special teams were solid today. So we just need to continue to moving all this process forward.
Are you seeing the same things from Benny, and is he going to be, do you have any idea if he'll be healthy for next week?
I'm not sure about Benny's health, but I think Benny's playing much the same way, making plays. A lot of guys making plays out there. That's what you need. We'll swing the ball around. McGarrett King's last week, Fowler the last 2 weeks. But guys are making plays. Lippett, Burbage is playing. A.J. Simmons makes a couple plays. Shelton's in there making plays, run and pass. So we've got some playmakers, and we need to use those guys. And the exciting thing is that any one of them can take it the distance.
Here's another one for you, Josiah Price. I think it was 3rd and 11 opening drive of the second half. A key time. Looked like he dialed up. I don't know if he was the primary, but you talk about the development of that play and why you take that.
Yeah, it was called a smash fade, but he came off the X on the fade and came back to the tight end on the seam, and Josiah caught it right in rhythm, and rumbles down to the 4-yard line or 3-yard line or whatever. But Josiah Price and Jamal Lyles, they both have great hands. They're both young players, redshirt freshmen, and they both are a different type of tight end than maybe Gleichert, than maybe Michael Dennis. Certainly, Gleichert's a little bit of both. Michael Dennis, obviously a bigger guy. So we use them all. And when you got a lot of people playing, your team is very healthy because there's a lot of input and there's a lot of enthusiasm.
There's a lot of room there. Is that part of the receivers, all of them getting hot, and coverage is starting to look at receivers more and tight ends?
Well, it's good coaching on our offensive staff's point of view, but I just think that, they spread the field horizontally, you spread the field vertically, you try and work the different seams. Relative to the coverage that they were in on that particular play, I believe it was cover 2. And, seam opened up, and Connor found it right in stride. Perfect throw.
Is playing an offense like Indiana's add a sense of urgency to your offense, knowing, as you said, the rapid fire, knowing what they can do even against a great defense that you have?
Yeah, absolutely. Their first drive took 1 minute 1 second. So you've got to be able, when I started this press conference, to play against Indiana, you've got to be able to keep that ball, and you've got to make first downs. You've got to take some clock because, your defense has to rest some because they're going to be going every single play very fast rate of speed. So, I think you're exactly right.
We'll be expecting more pregame tweets from you with this performance.
Oh, you saw that, huh? Yeah. Well, I just want to get our students going a little bit. I told you it was an Iron Man game. Thanks. Go Green.